Incredible moment, Millionaire discovers Maid's heartwarming protection of her special child. The sun poured into Jason Hartman's sprawling mansion, illuminating the marble floors and lavish decor, but inside, Jason's heart felt like a shadow. He was a self-made millionaire in his late 30s, a tech entrepreneur celebrated for his innovative startup. Yet, amidst the sleek furniture and sparkling crystal chandeliers, there was an ever-present emptiness gnawing at him. He turned to the next big deal and all of his luxurious comforts, but nothing filled the void. Meanwhile, in an adjoining wing of the mansion, Maria, his devoted maid, worked tirelessly. She was a single mother who mastered juggling multiple jobs with grace, always the unsung hero. Today, her face shone with a warm smile, though deep-set bags under her eyes hinted at countless sleepless nights spent helping Lucas, her 8-year-old son, practice his speech exercises. Each sound struggled to escape his lips like a bird fighting to break free from a cage, and Maria's heart split at every challenge he faced. As she dusted the shelves in Jason's grand office, her thoughts drifted to her son. "I'm doing this for you, Lucas," she whispered under her breath. Outside, palm trees swayed softly in the breeze, their calming rhythm unaware of the chaos life had thrown at them. Jason sat at his desk, oblivious to the dedicated woman tending to his home, his eyes fixed on numbers and charts, so cocooned and privileged that he barely noticed the life beyond his screens. Then came the fateful evening of the parent-teacher night. Jason arrived late, focused on his phone. When he finally entered the classroom, he heard a soft voice trembling. It was Lucas, his hands shaking slightly, trying to share a simple project. Maria sat in front, her eyes burning with encouragement, each word dripping with fierce love. But the dismissive looks from teachers and parents as Lucas faltered pierced her heart. Jason stood in the back, taken aback. He felt an unfamiliar stirring of empathy. Suddenly, the glimmering walls of his home no longer felt like security, they felt like a barrier. Determined to help, Jason approached the school board with an offer, financial support for the special education program. But the response was unexpected. Parents bristled at the idea of a millionaire swooping in to save the day, resentment thick in the air. "He doesn't understand the struggle," they whispered. The backlash stung. Jason had the wealth to effect real change, yet here he was, with his intentions twisted by judgment. An unspoken rift grew between Jason and Maria. She felt the weight of his privilege, and it pushed her away. When she confronted him, her voice quivered with hurt. "You don't understand, you see the world differently." Her words resonated. Jason's chest tightened, he felt the ache of truth. Tension came to a head when Maria stood, tears brimming in her eyes, at Lucas's next school function. With a voice as fierce as a lioness protecting her cub, she defended her son against the dismissive whispers. Jason watched, heart racing, as courage ignited a fire in the room. In that moment, everything snapped into focus. He could bridge the gap, he could listen, he could learn. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Later that evening, as Maria returned home tired but proud, she embraced Lucas, the essence of hope woven into their bond. Their connection felt electric, even against life's relentless challenges. Jason, watching from his mansion, grappling with his sense of self, felt a river of questions flood his mind. Could he be more than just a millionaire? Could he become an ally, creating real change? He was at a crossroads, teetering on the edge of two worlds, yearning to find the courage to step forward. Would he shrink back into his comforts, or finally rise to challenge the injustices right before his eyes? The night wore on, but sleep evaded Jason. He paced the marble halls of his mansion, the cold elegance reminding him of the warmth he had missed. Images of Maria supporting Lucas through his struggles swirled in his mind. Each time Lucas hesitated or stumbled, Maria stood firm, pouring encouragement over him like sunlight on a chilly morning. That fire, that love, how had he not noticed it before? He walked to his office, flicking on the lights. The glow illuminated stacks of paperwork and screens filled with data. Yet, everything felt meaningless. He perched on the edge of his desk, staring into the brilliance of the city skyline beyond the glass. He had always viewed success as climbing higher, but now he questioned what the summit truly meant. Wasn't there something greater than wealth? As dawn light seeped through the windows, Maria rose to make breakfast. The smell of pancakes wafted through their modest home. She turned to Lucas, whose smile lit up the room like the sun. Though his speech made him vulnerable, in his innocence, he found strength. He was determined, and it reminded Maria of why she fought so fiercely every day. "Lucas, do you think Mommy can help your class more?" she asked playfully, flipping the pancake. "I want to show everyone how cool I am," he said cheerfully, his eyes shining. His spirit brightened her day, giving Maria the energy to face the world once more. Meanwhile, Jason wrestled with a plan. He replayed Maria's words in his mind, and they echoed like a haunting melody. He smiled momentarily, realizing that if he truly wanted to make a difference, it wouldn't just be about throwing money at problems. He wanted to be a true collaborator, part of the community, listening to the needs of those around him. Over the next few days, he did something unexpected. He took a break from business meetings and set up a roundtable discussion with local educators, parents, and advocates for children with special needs. He invited them to his home, a stark contrast to how he usually lived, surrounded by suits and agendas. On the evening of the gathering, he nervously adjusted his tie, pacing once more. The beautiful decor he once cherished now felt like a mask. As the guests arrived, Jason greeted them at the door, his heart pounding. Maria followed closely with Lucas. The boy squeezed his mother's hand, eyes wide with curiosity. She glanced up at Jason, a mix of gratitude and apprehension. "I just want to listen," he said, attempting to bridge the widening gap. The parents looked wary, but as the evening unfolded, he shared stories, hopes, and concerns. Maria watched as Jason took notes, eyes focused on the faces around the table. Slowly, walls began to crumble. People opened up about their struggles, sharing their children's dreams and desires. The atmosphere shifted, no longer just a millionaire's mansion, it became a warm place of connection. Yet, the moment wasn't without tension. When one mother raised her voice, challenging Jason's understanding of their daily realities, a lull fell over the gathering. Maria held her breath, wondering how he would respond. Jason paused, breath catching. Would he shrink back? Or would he rise to the challenge? "You're right," he replied, sincerity threading through his voice. "I don't understand it all. But I want to learn and help. I want to stand by you, not above you." A flicker of something shifted in the room. Hope. Doubt. Just then, Lucas tugged at Maria's sleeve. "Mommy, can I talk?" he asked, voice barely above a whisper. Her heart clenched. It was a pivotal moment. Would he find the courage to speak? Would the room embrace him like a family? In that charged silence, every eye turned toward Lucas, waiting for his voice to fill the air. What would he say? Would it change everything? Lucas stood there, small and resolute, his heart racing as he felt the weight of the room's gaze. Time stretched into an eternity. Maria knelt beside him, whispering encouragement. "You can do this, sweetheart," she said, her voice a soothing balm against his nerves. Taking a deep breath, Lucas cleared his throat. "I want to tell you all about my dream," he began, eyes darting across the faces of the gathered adults. They leaned in, an expression of genuine curiosity replacing their initial skepticism. "What is it, buddy?" Jason asked, kneeling a little lower to meet Lucas at eye level. I want to make a game. A game where everyone can play, even if they're different." Each word he spoke was like a tiny spark, illuminating his passion. "I want to be a game designer." His confidence began to grow, fueled by the warmth of their interest. The room buzzed with uncertainty. A couple of parents exchanged glances, surprised by the boy's determination. Maria felt her heart swell with pride. Jason nodded slowly, absorbing Lucas's words. That's amazing, Lucas. What kind of game do you want to make? It's a dance game. Lucas exclaimed, his excitement infectious. You can choose how you want to play. You can be a superhero or a dinosaur or just dance like yourself. Everyone can join, no matter how they move. Laughter broke through the tension, the sound rich and genuine. Even the mother who had challenged Jason smiled, her walls beginning to crumble. Lucas beamed. This is so cool, Lucas. One of the parents said, and another chimed in, I'd love to play that with my kids. What began as an uncertain moment transformed into a burst of affirmation. Jason's heart raced with a mix of emotions. Here was a boy who saw beyond barriers, who wanted to unite people with joy. Wasn't that what he had been trying to understand all along? As Lucas continued, sharing more about the game, Jason felt a shift within himself. He realized that this was the very heart of community understanding, inclusion, and a celebration of differences. But it also exposed a truth he had long ignored: sometimes, the ones with the lightest voices hold the heaviest dreams. Yes. I want to help you make that game. Jason declared suddenly, his voice booming with renewed energy. We can connect you with game developers, and I can help organize a workshop. We can bring this to life. Gasps filled the room, a mix of thrill and disbelief skimming over the parents' faces. Maria's heart raced with hope. They could actually do this. But then, just as quickly, doubt crept back into Jason's mind. What if I mess this up? He thought. What if this effort spiraled out of control? The evening drew to a close, and parents began to exchange numbers, rallying behind Lucas and Jason's budding partnership. Maria beamed with pride, feeling the warmth of encouragement envelop them all. But as the last guests departed, Jason turned to Maria, anxiety twisting his gut. What if I can't deliver on my promise? What if I fail Lucas? Maria reached for his hand, her touch grounding him. You won't know until you try. Just remember, it's about being there for him the way I have been. He needs your heart in this project. Jason looked down at their hands, entwined tightly. In this moment, all the pieces felt fragile yet hopeful. He couldn't help but wonder what lay ahead. What if this was the start of something transformative, not just for Lucas, but for them all? The question hung in the air like an unspoken promise. But as Jason looked into Maria's eyes, he felt a flicker of courage ignite. He may not have all the answers, but he was ready to step forward, ready to embrace whatever came next. But as they prepared to leave, a noise from the corner jolted them both. Lucas had fallen silent, a contemplative look crossing his face. What if I want everyone to feel special, he said softly. In that moment, Jason realized that Lucas's journey might just be the beginning of his own. He could transform more than just a game, he could change lives. Would he find the key to unlock this dream? And could Lucas's voice transcend barriers they didn't yet understand? The days that followed were alive with anticipation. Jason could hardly sleep, his mind racing with ideas for Lucas's dance game. He scribbled notes during work meetings, doodled character designs during lunch breaks, and spent evenings researching game development online. Each day, his excitement drowned out the whispers of doubt. Maria, too, was swept up in Lucas's enthusiasm. They spent late nights talking and brainstorming. Lucas shared more thoughts about the game, dreaming up vibrant characters and imaginative worlds. What about a jungle where everyone can dance with the animals? He suggested excitedly. His imagination was boundless. At the local community center, Jason set up a meeting with interested parents and potential collaborators. As they gathered, chatter filled the room with hope. It was inspiring to see so many willing to contribute to Lucas's vision. Kids laughed and ran around while parents shared ideas, all gravitating towards Lucas, who was the sun of their little universe. Remember, this game is about everyone feeling respected, Lucas reminded them cheerfully. Even if you dance differently, it still matters. You matter. His words were simple but powerful, echoing in the hearts of the adults. Amidst all their efforts, Jason sensed a growing pressure. The weight of expectation settled on his shoulders like a heavy cloak. What if they failed to bring Lucas's vision to life? What if his role fell short? He could see Maria's unwavering faith, but deep within, he battled anxious thoughts. One evening, while preparing snacks with Maria in the kitchen, he voiced his worries. What if I mess this all up? His hands trembled over the bag of pretzels. What if I let Lucas down? Maria paused, placing a comforting hand on his arm. This isn't just about the game, Jason. It's about hope. It's about showing Lucas he's not alone in this. You're not just his guide, you're building a community with him. Her words hung in the air, reminding him of the deeper purpose behind it all. Jason drew a deep breath, letting the anxiety seep from his mind, even if just a little. As the workshop day approached, excitement buzzed throughout the community. An incredible mix of people planned to attend. Parents, kids, local artists, even college students studying game design reached out to Jason, curious about the project. Every voice added to the crescendo of ambition. When the big day arrived, the room felt electric. Lucas stood in front of everyone, a bit more confident now. He greeted the crowd, his eyes sparkling with possibility. Thank you all for being here. We're going to create something amazing together. They broke into groups, brainstorming together, painting broad strokes of ideas on whiteboards. Laughter filled the air as creative brainstorming took off. Jason watched in awe, realizing how far Lucas had come, but as the sun set and the workshop gathered momentum, a familiar feeling of fear crawled back into Jason's chest. He wasn't just worried about the game anymore. He felt the stirring of something deeper, a reflection of his own insecurities. As he caught Lucas's eye, the boy smiled brightly, a beacon of pure hope. Let's make something special. Lucas shouted, and the room erupted in cheers. But amidst the excitement, a thought struck Jason. What if the truth behind creating something so significant wasn't just about the game? What if it was about confronting his own fears and insecurities? In that moment, the stakes felt higher than ever. Could Jason find the strength not only to support Lucas but also to believe in himself? As they moved forward, riding the wave of creativity and collaboration, the question lingered in Jason's mind: would he conquer his own fears, or would they hold him back exactly when he was needed the most? The crowd's energy was infectious, and Jason felt it pull him in. Lucas was like a vibrant conductor, guiding the orchestra of creativity around him. Parents brainstorming ideas, kids squabbling in playful arguments about the best animal sidekick, and artists sketching concepts all radiated a sense of community. It was beautiful to watch, yet in the back of Jason's mind, doubt still loomed. In the corner of the room, whispers floated like fireflies, thoughts about the potential and pitfalls of the project alike. Jason could hear them, feel their weight pressing against him. What if it all falls apart? What if the game is nothing like Lucas' dreams? The fear curled around his heart, like mist on a chilly morning. Hey, Maria nudged him gently, her eyes sparkling with determination. Remember, it's not just about the game. Look what this means to everyone. She gestured toward the groups, lost in discussion and excitement, each child's face glowing with dreams and teamwork. Jason nodded slowly, trying to let the warmth of her belief seep into him. Then came a moment that could change everything. A group of kids had gathered around Lucas, their eyes wide as he explained his wild vision of the jungle dance party. Jason felt a pang in his chest, seeing his son shine so brightly in front of the crowd. They were captivated by the way Lucas painted his world. The way his voice wove stories unified them. He was a natural leader. Suddenly, a loud crash jolted Jason from his thoughts. A chair had toppled, sending a cluster of markers flying. Lucas froze, his gaze darting toward the source of the disruption. Jason's heart skipped. Was this the moment he'd be tested? Would fear bring his son down? But then, an unexpected thing happened. The kids erupted into laughter. They rallied around Lucas, helping him pick up the scattered markers. "You're okay," one little girl exclaimed, giving him a quick hug. "We love your jungle idea." The warmth of their encouragement was palpable, filling the room with a shared spirit. Jason's fear melted, a small victory against the creeping doubts, fueled by that burst of affirmation. Lucas gathered everyone's attention again. "Let us do something fun," he declared. "Let us create an animal dance-off. Everyone can pick a dance move." The room buzzed with exhilaration as kids jumped to their feet, laughter spilling like music. Jason watched as Lucas led the charge, demonstrating silly dances that had everyone giggling and vying to copy him. It felt magical. How could a child hold such power over a room? How could joy ripple through the air so effortlessly? That's when it hit him. Lucas wasn't just putting a game together, he was creating connections. Even as laughter rang out, Jason felt a shift within himself. This wasn't just about Lucas's dream and his fears. It was about honoring vulnerability and embracing the unknown. Each giggle, every dance move made in that fleeting moment spoke louder than any worry he harbored. Perhaps, just perhaps, he could navigate through his insecurities while building something incredible. As the room erupted with chaos and spirit, Jason felt a glimmer of hope. "Maybe I can do this," he thought, encouragement dawning in his heart. But just as the evening approached its high note, a new thought sparked in his mind, troubling yet tantalizing. What would it mean when all of this came crashing down? What if their dreams led to unforeseen struggles? As the dance and laughter filled the air, a cloud formed over Jason's hope. Would he be able to support Lucas when the storm arrived? The dance-off reached its peak, laughter echoing off the walls, but Jason's thoughts drifted into shadows. The vibrant energy around him felt like a fragile bubble, and he feared what would happen if it burst. Lucas was in his element, and Jason's heart swelled with pride, yet beneath it all, the concern lingered like a distant storm. "Can you believe it?" Maria's voice pulled Jason back as she joined him. "Look at them. They're loving it." She pointed at a group of kids attempting to imitate Lucas's goofy dance moves, arms flailing and legs kicking in all the wrong directions. It brought an involuntary smile to Jason's face. "Yeah, it's amazing," he replied, but the unease gnawed at him. Would this joy last? Would they be able to sustain this incredible momentum when the real challenges hit? As if reading his thoughts, Maria laid a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about the drive and the connection. Those are what matter." Her words filled him with warmth, yet the doubt still clung to him, relentless like the staccato rhythm of a drum. Lucas summoned the attention of the children once more. "Okay, how about a dance battle?" he declared, excitement crackling in the air. The kids cheered and scrambled to form teams, adrenaline dance fuel igniting the room. They split into two equal halves, each ready to outshine the other, and Jason couldn't help but admire Lucas's natural ability to rally them together. The first team went, bursting into goofy animations that had everyone giggling uncontrollably. But the moment the second team took their turn, the energy shifted. They had brought a fierce competitiveness to the floor, and suddenly the stakes felt real. Jason's heart raced as he watched the kids give everything they had, their laughter laced with determination. It was inspiring yet terrifying. Amid the chaos, Lucas stood tall, clearly enjoying himself, relishing every second. "You guys are amazing. Let us add some animal sounds," he shouted. With that, the children began to mimic animal calls between their dance moves, and the laughter became explosive. In that moment, Jason felt a jolt of clarity. He watched how Lucas thrived among happy chaos, how he built bridges of creativity between kids who would have never interacted otherwise. What if he could learn to do the same? Perhaps this wasn't simply about a game or fear of it all collapsing, it was a life lesson. But as the laughter echoed louder, Jason felt that familiar pinch of anxiety return. What happens when they stumble? When the joyous dance turns into confusion and disappointment? Would Lucas still feel empowered? Jason didn't have an answer, and it scared him deeply. The energy shifted again, this time tinged with exhaustion as kids began to wind down. Lucas paused, chest heaving, and looked around. Their faces were flushed with happiness. As he basked in the moment, Jason wondered, was this fun the foundation of something greater or simply a fleeting joy destined to fade? The question lingered in the air like a challenge. Would Jason find the courage to embrace uncertainty, or would he let fear drown out his son's spark? The room crackled with hope, yet Jason felt the thrill of what lay ahead, the storm that would come to test them both. And just as the final music faded, Lucas approached, breathless and beaming. "Dad. Did you see? We should do this every week." In that moment, Jason saw the spark of determination in his son's eyes. But could he feed into that energy or stand aside when the real challenges appeared? His heart raced with possibility, and with it, the realization sunk in: what if Lucas's dream was only the beginning of their own? Did they dare to find out? Jason's chest swelled with emotion. Lucas's enthusiasm was contagious, bursting bright against the backdrop of the slowly dimming room. The echoes of laughter faded, but the warmth woven during those moments lingered like a cozy blanket. "Every week," Jason repeated, his voice steadying. Part of him wanted to echo Lucas's excitement, to jump on board right then and there. Yet doubt still scuttled around in his mind. What if it gets too chaotic? What if Dad? Lucas interrupted, his eyes wide with excitement. "We can make it better. I want to build a dance team, a real one with costumes and everything. Can you help me?" Jason couldn't suppress a grin. Lucas's dreams were nothing if not ambitious. A dance team, huh? Sounds like a big project. Yeah. Lucas's face lit up even further. "We could make flyers and pick a cool name. It's gonna be epic." Just then, Maria approached, wiping sweat from her brow, laughter still clinging to her. "What's this about a dance team? I assume I'm in, right?" "Of course," Lucas said earnestly. "You can be the choreographer. I'll take that title." She laughed, a mock professional stance taking over. Yet behind it, Jason could see the thrill in her eyes. As they mapped out their plans, Jason's heart danced with possibility. But as he watched Lucas joyfully bounce around with Maria, a familiar doubt tightened its grip. What if this excitement led to a new kind of pressure? What if it turned into a source of disappointment? Amidst their exchanges, Jason felt a revolution of emotions. He wanted to empower Lucas, to fan his creativity into a roaring fire, but how did he ensure it didn't burn too hot? Questions swirled in his head. Dozens of kids were still milling about. Kids whose joyful faces had blossomed in unity and play. Jason looked at them, their eyes reflecting both thrill and innocence. He caught a glimpse of Lucas with his big goofy grin and felt a rush of realization. This was bigger than just dance. It was about connection, about building bridges through creativity and collaboration. "Okay, how about we all take a break?" Jason clapped his hands together, drawing attention back to him. "Let's grab some snacks and think about the kind of dance we want to create. We'll brainstorm during our break." At the mention of snacks, a chorus of cheers erupted from the kids. In that moment, with the chaos and energy settling into a lighter buzz, Jason saw an opening. This could be a way of teaching resilience. He could guide Lucas while allowing the freedom to explore and learn without fear of failure. As the kids flowed into the snack area, Jason felt a wash of uncertainty still hovering far from gone. But right then, he resolved to embrace the unknown. "Let's do this, Lucas," he said, leaning closer to his son. "Let's build something amazing together." "Yeah, together," Lucas echoed, not even aware of the weight of his father's words. Jason smiled softly, imagining the road ahead. Emboldened by this newfound determination, Jason would face whatever challenges arose together with Lucas. He hoped that they could weave a strong foundation built not just on success but on the resilience found in trying, failing, and trying again. Soon, Lucas was racing off again, eager to rally the kids about snacks, laughter echoing. As Jason watched him go, the the fear didn't disappear, but it transformed. Maybe they were on to something. Maybe this dance, a metaphor for life itself, was simply about finding rhythm in the chaos, and as excitement filled the air, Jason's mind flickered to the competing emotions: hope, fear, curiosity. What challenges awaited them? What would it mean to truly nurture Lucas's dreams amidst the struggles ahead? With a flutter of uncertainty but also newfound resolve in his heart, he ventured toward the snack table, ready to embrace whatever would test their determination next. Jason stepped towards the snack table, the smell of popcorn and fruit wafting through the air, mixing with the whispers of excitement from the gathering children. He poured himself a cup of juice, feeling a rush of gratitude for moments like these. Laughter echoed around him as kids dove into bowls filled with colorful treats. "Dad!" Lucas's voice rang out, cutting through the chatter. He stood atop a table, a triumphant figure with a candy-coated hero-esque grin. "We need team names." "All right. Team meeting." Jason called back, trying to sound as enthusiastic as he could manage. He found it hard to ignore the knots in his stomach. What if they couldn't come up with ideas that filled Lucas with pride? What if they missed the mark? Maria, ever the spark of energy, jumped in. "Let us hear some ideas. Don't hold back." The kids all shouted over each other, names flying through the air like confetti, each more outrageous than the last. Lucas loved them all, bouncing as he relayed every suggestion, the light in his eyes unmistakable. "Rainbow Warriors," called out one girl. "Dancing Dynamos," shouted another, hands raised high. "Can we be Disco Ninjas?" Lucas contributed, unable to stifle his giggles. Jason chuckled, his heart swelling at their creativity. He could see the joy radiating from his son, and somehow, it eased the tension inside him. Maybe this was what they needed, a community fueled by imagination and laughter. "Okay. So, we have Disco Ninjas, Dancing Dynamos, and what was that other one? Rainbow something?" he asked, scanning the crowd for approval. "Rainbow Warriors," shouted a chorus of voices. "Rainbow Warriors it is," he declared, playfully raising his hands like a referee making a call. "From here on out, we are the Rainbow Warriors." Those words broke an invisible seal. Cheers erupted, a wave of joy crashing through the group. In that moment, in a room filled with laughter and ideas, Jason's heart felt lighter. They were building something, together. Yet as the celebration continued, a flicker of doubt whispered in the back of Jason's mind. What if the excitement faded? What if Lucas put too much weight on these dreams and faced disappointment? Maria, sensing the trepidation through his silence, approached and nudged him gently with her elbow. "You're doing great, Jason. It's okay to let him dream big. It's what he needs." Her words struck deep. He had been meticulous in wanting to protect Lucas from failure, but maybe he was stifling him instead. "Right," he finally said, breathing deep, letting the warmth of the kid's energy wash over him. "We can guide without constraining. He needs to soar." Just then, Lucas darted over, waving a crumpled piece of paper. "Look, Dad. I wrote down a dance move. I call it the tornado spin." His face was a mix of pride and determination, and that was all Jason needed. "Show me." Jason encouraged, his heart hammering. Lucas threw himself into the dance, arms spinning wildly, his laughter ringing bright. The kids followed suit, creating a whirlwind of movement fueled by joy. In that joyful chaos, a realization hit Jason. He was watching resilience in motion. Each twist and turn captured the very essence of life. They were all learning, growing, and supporting one another. But then, amid the giggles, Lucas tripped, tumbling onto the floor. Jason's heart sank, but quickly, the room hushed. Lucas lay there for just a moment, frozen in surprise, and then burst into laughter. "Rainbow Warriors don't fall down," he shouted, springing back to his feet, arms wide as if he were claiming victory over gravity itself. Jason exhaled, relief flooding through him as the kids roared with cheers. He stood there, smiling at the resilience in his son. Maybe this dance was just the beginning, a chance for everyone to learn to get back up after falling, but as he looked at Lucas, the doubt crept back. How would he navigate the balance of supporting his dreams while ensuring he didn't carry more than he was ready for? The question loomed heavy as the kids returned to their plans, diving deeper into creating their dance routines. Jason felt a flicker of fear but also a fierce willingness to want more for Lucas. Would their journey reveal more than just dance? Would it teach them both about embracing the falls along with the fantastic spins? As laughter filled the air once more, Jason watched Lucas pull Maria to the center, preparing for their next move. And he knew they were just getting started and adventure awaited them, one step at a time. What awaited them when the music began? As the music began to play, a lively beat filled the room, propelling the kids into a whirlwind of movement. Jason watched in awe as Lucas and Maria took the lead, spinning and swirling, their laughter intertwined with the rhythm. The makeshift stage had transformed into their kingdom, every child a warrior united by joy and creativity, but with the music came a surge of worry for Jason. He stood at the edge, observing a wave of playful energy crashing around him. Would they be able to stay in sync? Would Lucas's excitement endure through the routine? The unease gnawed at him while he forced a large smile, trying to match the enthusiasm of the moment. Lucas, however, didn't falter. His eyes sparkled with determination as he rallied the team, feet moving in time to the beat. Okay, everyone. Let us show them who we are. Rainbow Warriors, let us create our magic. His voice rose above the music, full of belief that spilled over into each of his teammates. Emboldened, the kids formed a circle, their bodies bouncing in readiness for their dance. Jason felt the urge to step in, to coach them through the moves, but then he remembered Maria's words. He bit his lip, letting Lucas take the lead. This was his dance, his moment, and Jason realized he needed to step back and let his son shine. The dance unfolded beautifully, a magnificent medley of clumsy but joyous movements. A mix of spins, jumps, and silly poses erupted as the kids expressed their individuality. Laughter rang out with every tumble, every exaggerated gesture, as they embodied the spirit of the Rainbow Warriors. Their innocence and fearlessness struck a chord in Jason's heart. This was what life was about. Not just the dance itself, but the genuine joy of being together. Yet, in the midst of all this laughter, Jason's mind drifted back to darker thoughts. He recalled moments from last year, from before his father had passed, when he felt lost, unsure of how to move forward. He wished for those moments back, where things seemed simple and safe. The loss still weighed heavily on his heart. But watching Lucas dance, Jason thought perhaps their dream could also be a way to rise above sorrow. Then, as a change in the music beat quickly brought uncertainty, a moment of chaos ensued. One of the kids tripped over her own feet, colliding into another dancer. A startled gasp spread through the circle, but before panic could seize anyone, Lucas rushed over, whispering words of reassurance. He crouched beside her, a small hand patting her back. "You're okay. Remember, Rainbow Warriors don't fall down." His words were instantly met with a ripple of laughter, breaking the potential tension as the group rallied around a fallen friend. Watching this unfold, Jason felt warmth flood through him. This was resilience in its purest form. It wasn't just about dance, it was about support, love, and pulling one another back up together. In that moment, he understood, Lucas was not just his son, he was a guiding light for many. As the final note of the song echoed, the children erupted into cheers, collapsing into a pile of giggles on the floor. But Jason's heart raced for another reason, a stirring within him to do more. He wanted to encourage not just Lucas's dreams but to foster that same spirit in the others too. What project could he create that brought more kids into this fold of laughter, teamwork, and learning? The excitement buzzing around him was palpable, but it mixed with a new realization: the best adventures often start from unpredictable moments. Taking a step closer, he called out with newfound enthusiasm, "What if we put on a big show? A Rainbow Warriors talent showcase." Eyes lit up with the idea, and a chorus of excitement erupted. Yet, in the back of Jason's mind, worry flickered. Could they handle the pressure? What if someone missed a step, or worse, faced disappointment? Could all this joy withstand the weight of expectation? But looking at Lucas's beaming face, the fearless spirit of those kids, he felt the doubt subside, if just for a second. An adventure was on the horizon, one that would take them beyond the dance. Could they truly turn this moment into something remarkable? Would facing new challenges strengthen them? As the kids huddled around Lucas, eager to brainstorm ideas for their big show, Jason knew they were stepping into the unknown together. Would they find their way in this new dance of life? The thought lingered, a tantalizing wonder as they began to dream of what lay ahead. The day of the Rainbow Warriors Talent Showcase had arrived, and Jason's heart was a tangled mix of pride and anxiety. The community center buzzed with excitement, colorful decorations dancing on the walls. Families gathered, eyes sparkling with anticipation, as laughter and chatter filled the air. Every child wore their brightest outfit, each a unique expression of their spirit. Lucas stood at the front, confidence radiating from him as he rallied the kids. "All right, Rainbow Warriors. We're going to show everyone our moves today," he shouted, eyes wide with enthusiasm. Jason felt warmth flood through him. This was a celebration of everything they had built together, not just the dance, but the community, the understanding, and the courage to share dreams. As the show began, Jason watched Lucas take the stage, his heart swelling. The kids lined up, ready to showcase their routines. They weren't just dancing, they were telling a story, embracing the joy of movement, and the audience was captivated. Each twirl and jump was a testament to their progress, their bond forged through challenges and laughter, but the moment held its uncertainties. As the music kicked in, one little girl stumbled and nearly fell to the ground. Jason held his breath, fearing the loss of confidence that might follow. Instead, Lucas rushed over, his face illuminated by encouragement. "You got this, Claire. We're Rainbow Warriors," he called, pulling her back into the dance. Jason's heart soared. There it was. The light they had cultivated together, igniting resilience and support. With every performance, he felt the crowd's energy swell, admiration gleaming in their eyes. The love and acceptance amazed him, no longer a wall keeping them apart, but a bridge connecting hearts. Even the parents who once distrusted him now cheered loudest for their children. When the final act ended, the room erupted in applause. Children scattered as they hugged one another, celebrating their achievements with giggles. In that moment, Jason stood amidst the joyful chaos, clarity washing over him. This was not merely a show, this was a movement of love. From the corner of the room, Maria approached, her smile radiant. "Look at them. They've done it." Jason nodded, fighting back tears. "All those moments, it's amazing what they've created. Lucas, he leads like a true warrior." A sense of unity formed between them. Maria squeezed his hand, a spark of recognition passing between them. "And you? You believed in him. You allowed him to shine bright." But as hope soared, a whisper of doubt nestled in Jason's mind. What would happen once the applause faded? He had done well today, but would he continue to support Lucas through all of life's ups and downs? "Jason," Maria said softly, reading his expression, "remember, it's not about the heights you reach but the hands you hold as you climb. You've already changed lives. You can keep doing it." Her words settled like seeds in his heart, planting the courage to embrace whatever came next. The performance was a triumph, but the real journey was just beginning. He had learned to let go not only in life but in nurturing Lucas' dreams. The night came to a close, and Jason watched as families began to leave, faces glowing with joy. Lucas ran up to him, breathless. "Dad! Did you see us? We were epic. Can we do this every year?" "Every year, buddy," Jason promised, pulling Lucas into a warm embrace. "We're in this together. You have a team, and we'll grow even faster." As they spun around the emptying center, laughter bubbling between them, Jason felt transformed. This wasn't just about dance anymore, it was about relationships, community, resilience. It was about creating a space where dreams bloomed, every voice mattered, and they could keep lifting each other up no matter how many falls were faced along the way. In that moment, Jason knew where he belonged. He was not just a millionaire, he was part of a family, a warrior among warriors. They would continue this journey, dancing through life's challenges together, learning, growing, and embracing each moment as it came. As Lucas giggled and swept the last remnants of popcorn off the floor, Jason felt hope erupt in his chest. This was the beginning of something beautiful. A dance of life filled with endless possibilities. If you love this heartwarming journey and want to keep following stories that inspire change and heart, you need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to keep this amazing algorithm going strong. Don't wait not even one more second. Comment your feelings about the ending. And share instantly with at least 5 friends who absolutely need to see this transformation. Together, let us spread the light.